Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. Today is Wednesday, August 24th, 2016, and it's about 10:30 here where I'm at in Decatur, Georgia. I'm going to be going over my lineup strategy for FanDuel's early only slate that starts at 2:10. That includes 4 games. A quick recap on how I did yesterday. My tournament lineup, my dirty stack, it failed. Madison Bumgarner wasn't a good play. Only 21 fantasy points. That was a bad call by me. But as far as the St. Louis Cardinals stack, it would have worked. They scored 3 runs on Jonathan Nisi in the first inning. And Jonathan Nisi, he left the game with an injury in the bottom of the first inning. In the rest of the game, the Cardinals only scored 1 run. That stack, it was based on attacking the starting pitcher, Jonathan Nisi. So when he went out, that kind of messed up that dirty stat. All the BVP statistics that I was mentioning yesterday were based off of Jonathan Nisi. So when he got out, that kind of just hurt my stat. But on the other hand, if you're following the Instagram page and on Facebook, I did put out a cash lineup on Instagram, and that lineup actually did well. Scored 154 points. I had Ivan Nova. He had a great game. The cash lineup, it cashed in the 50-50. It cashed in the $5 tournament. And if you looked on the Facebook page and Instagram, I lost by 4/10 of a point in my head-to-head against Hoop 2410. That's one of the better players in the DFS industry, but I barely lost. But just over the last 2 nights, the tournament lineups I created, they haven't really cashed, but the cash game lineups that I've created have done well in cash. So today I'm going to do something a little differently. I'm going to share with you all my strategy for a cash game lineup, because cash games are a little easier to win at. You only have to be in the top 50% of the field compared to being in the top, 10 to 15 or 20%, So let's just get started in this slate. Remember, this is not for tournaments, not for the big monies. This is for cash games, your head-to-head contest and your 50-50 contest. And some people consider double ups cash games also. I don't count those as cash games. But let's just get started with this. At the first position, pitcher, for cash games today, my favorite pitcher on the slate, the 2 o'clock early slate, is Kyle Hendricks of the Chicago Cubs for 9,200. The way the Padres have performed, the first 2 games of the series, John Lester had a strong performance. Who was it yesterday? Jake Arrieta, he had a strong performance. So I don't see any reason why Kyle Hendricks won't have a good game as well. Remember, in cash games, you have to play it safe. You're not trying to take a lot of risks and think outside the box. You're trying to make the safe play and the most logical play. And out of all the pitchers on this short slate, I think Kyle Hendricks is my top pitcher for my cash games this afternoon. A second option, I think, would probably be Tanaka for the Yankees at 9,300. He's been pitching very, very well, but when I try to weigh the benefits between Hendricks and Tanaka, I just look at the opposing offenses that they're facing, and I believe the Padres offense is a little weaker than the Seattle Mariners offense. So I think Kyle Hendricks is a great play for cash games. I'm not going to make this video too long, so you could make a case for other pitchers, but in my opinion, there's only two players that's up for consideration for cash games, Hendricks and Tanaka, and I'm definitely going with Hendricks. Okay, the next position for the catcher position for cash games, definitely Gary Sanchez. The guy's pretty good. He's amazing. He's been doing really, really good since he's been called up. His price went up a little bit to 3,100. He only got 6 fantasy points on last night, but his upside, I just think you can't fade him. Because he's a very, very popular player. You don't want to fall behind the field in cash games. So Gary Sanchez, he's that choice for me. Other options for a catcher, I think Montero for the Chicago Cubs. if he starts and like Gary Sanchez has the day off, I think Montero might be the second best option. BVP statistics, he has one career home run against Clemens for the San Diego Padres. And maybe Brian McCann could also be another good cash game play. Righty versus lefty matchup, and I believe he also has one career home run against the starting pitcher he's facing in Iwakuma. All right, moving on to the next position of first base. Top cash game play would be Anthony Rizzo for the Chicago Cubs for 4,100. Lefty versus righty matchup. He's definitely one of the top first basemen in the league. Definitely the top first baseman on the slate. He could easily hit 2 home runs this afternoon. So definitely, I like him at first base for cash games. If not Rizzo, the other option I would consider would be Chris Carter, going up against the Colorado Rockies and Anderson, the pitcher, who's a lefty. Oh, I just realized that. The Colorado Rockies pitcher, he's a lefty, and Chris Anderson who kills left-handed pitching, I think he might be an excellent cash game play. So between Rizzo and Carter, right now I got Rizzo, but starting lineups haven't come out yet. So either one of those two. BVP play, Carlos Santana, he has one career home run against Graveman, the pitcher for the Oakland Athletics. So I think those 3 guys are the top 3 plays for cash games today. Rizzo, Carter, and Santana. For now, I got Rizzo, but I'm definitely going to strongly think about putting Chris Carter in there. Well, let me take that back. Carter, he may be a better tournament play because he's just so inconsistent. Rizzo, he's more safe. And for cash games, you focus on making the safer plays. So I think Rizzo is the best play. Moving on to second base, favorite cash game play will be Starlin Castro. Great price, 2,900. Mainly it's because of the price and definitely, the upside. Yesterday he only had 3 fantasy points, but the day before he had 37.4. When you look at the second baseman on the slate, you have Robinson Cano for 3,700, but he has very, very bad statistics versus Tanaka. I'm gonna look it up real quick. It's real bad. Hold on. Okay, in 13 at bats, he's batting 154 with 1 home run. So Robinson Cano, I think he would be a good tournament play, but for these cash games, I like Starlin Castro. Definitely for his price of 2,900. I think a good second option would be Scooter Gennett, for 3,000. Playing at a hitter's park in Miller Park, so he'll be a good second option. And I see Kipnis up there, but that's a tough ballpark in Oakland. It's kind of hard to hit home runs in that park. So moving on to the next position, cash game plays. The top ones would be Chris Bryant and Nolan Arenado. They're kind of expensive the way I got this lineup constructed. So I really like Kyle Seager for 3,400. Lefty versus righty matchup. In 12 at-bats versus Tanaka, he's batting 250 with 1 career home run, I believe. So Seager, his pass, he definitely has the home run power. He got 24 home runs on the season, batting 286 on the season as far as batting average. The price of 3,400, that's the main thing. So I got him as my third baseman for cash games this afternoon. But definitely I think Chris Bryant, Arenado, and I guess I can't ignore Jonathan Villar because of his stolen base upside. So the top 4 that you see as far as salary, in my opinion, they are the top 4 cash game plays. I got Seager right now because of it's strictly a salary decision. But if it was no salary involved, the order I would rank them is Chris Bryant, Arenado, VR, and Seager. So, that's about it for third base. Any other third baseman on the slate would probably be better for tournament play. Moving on to the next position, shortstop. This was probably the easiest one for me. Addison Russell for 3,200. If you're playing cash games, just lock him in. BVP statistics: 1 for 3 with 1 career home run off Clemens, and just look at his last 3 games. August 23rd, 28.2 fantasy points. August 22nd, 22.2 fantasy points, and August 21st, 37.4 fantasy points. 4 home runs in his last 3 games. He's just been hot. Price tag of 3,200 in a cash game. You just want to pick the safe play. Russell, he's definitely the top play for me at shortstop. I don't really see anybody else I want to use. Now, if you're in tournaments, maybe Lindor or Gregorius to try to be different. But in a 50-50 contest, you're just trying to be in that top half. So I wouldn't be cute. Addison Russell, he's the play of the day, really. Out of all the positions for cash games. That's if he starts. All right, moving on to the last position, outfield. This is another player I feels a lot for cash game play today. Chris Davis for the Oakland Athletics. Y'all know he's one of my favorite players to pick. Good BVP statistics versus Bauer. I believe he's 1 for 3 with 1 career home run. 33 home runs on the season. Had a home run on last night. 41.1 fantasy points last night. Then they put his price down. It was 3,000 yesterday. Now it's 2,900. Not sure why that is, but Chris Davis, he's the top cash play in the outfield position. I think you have to have him in your lineup at that price, and with the home run potential, he's a player that you just can't fade. So in the last 2 outfield positions I have in this current lineup, I got Charlie Blackmon from the Colorado Rockies for 3,800. Lefty versus righty matchup, good ballpark. Zach Davies, he's struggled, at least in his last start. So I think Blackmon is a safe play. He's batting .319 on the season, 21 home runs. He's been in a little slump. His last 3 games, 6.2 fantasy points and 2 straight games with 0. But let's see, a couple weeks ago, he showed the potential that he can put up, strong fantasy numbers. 59.1 fantasy points on, what day was that? August 12th. If you look at his game log on FanDuel, he has 3 games where he's gotten over 40 fantasy points. So with that type of upside, lefty versus righty matchup in a hitter's park in Miller Park, facing a pitcher who struggled in his last outing, I like Charlie Blackmon as a safe cash game play. And the last person I have in this preliminary lineup I have in the outfield position, this was strictly a salary decision. Leonis Martin for the Seattle Mariners. His price, $2,300. That's just a great price. You have to spend down somewhere when you pay higher salary at other positions. It's a lefty versus righty matchup. Tanaka is a good pitcher, but he's at home, and again, like I said, the main thing is the price tag of $2,300. That's why I fitted him in there. Other outfielders for cash games I think are good plays. Ryan Braun, Carlos Gonzalez. Just looking through the player pool. Dexter Fowler. And I think that's about it. So just to recap this preliminary lineup that I have for cash games, remember. I like Kyle Hendricks at pitcher. I definitely think Tanaka could also be in consideration. At catcher, is no questioning about it for me. Gary Sanchez, if he starts. First base, I think it's a toss-up between Rizzo. I give Rizzo the edge, but I could see you also using Chris Carter as well. Castro, great price tag. Third baseman, you might have to do some adjusting with your lineup, but Arenado and Chris Bryant are probably the top two. But, I think just sticking Seager in there at a lower salary could work. Addison Russell, just put him in at shortstop. Don't try to be cute. Just leave him in at shortstop for cash games. Same thing with Chris Davis. Salary price is too low. Plug him in for your cash games. And, I got Blackman and Martin. But any of you all that, play this daily fantasy sports on a consistent basis, these early slates, a lot of the key players are rested, and you have all these unknown players in the starting lineup. So it makes it a little tricky. So everything I just went over is subject to change because I'm sure they're going to rest a lot of players. Just don't know who's going to be rested. But that's just an overview of my strategy for cash games this afternoon. I'm still gonna play the tournaments, but the tournaments, they're tough to win. You have to really be on point to cash in those tournaments. And just after the last 2 days, I've seen that I've been successful in these cash games. Just gotta be in the top half and be above average. And I feel that I'm at least above average. I'm not an expert. I'm not horrible. But if you just ask me to be above average, that's something I think I can do. So that's my take for the early only slate 210 today for cash games. Thank everyone who's taking the time out to view this video this morning. Thank everyone who's joined the Facebook group, hashtag #BeTheBestDFS. Thanks to everyone who's following on Twitter at @BeTheBestDFS. And thank you to everyone who's following the Instagram page at @BeTheBestDFS. Be sure to follow that page. I'm going to post the cash lineup I'm going to play for this afternoon on the page. Feel free to use it. Thank you for all the support. Hopefully I can make another video for the main slate tonight. But for now, I just, focus on the early slate, trying a new technique, playing some cash games for this early slate. So thanks again, everyone, and I'll leave you with what I always leave y'all with. Try to be the best tonight. All right, I'm out.